Hey precious souls, it is Dr. Karin. Happy New Year. My set is not perfect. We're going to talk about not being perfect. And you know what? I still haven't showered today. I'm actually still in my pajamas. Yeah, you see it here. Still in my pajamas. And I really wanted to, I just felt really led just now as I was hanging out with my kids and knowing I have a bunch of work to do, the craziness of my house with my 2 dogs and my 3 kids. Just pop on here and let you guys know that I am so feeling it with you, the stress of parenthood. Those of you that know me, I am a single mom and I'm raising 3 kids mostly myself. They do have a dad who is involved in their life to a great extent. He's actually a great dad. We just weren't meant to stay married. But now my 2 dogs are in here. Okay, don't mess up my lighting, guys. And I thought, I had a big party at the house last night. I'm still tired. I've got a good light on my face, but I'm still super puffy and swollen. And I know all of us feel icky from the holidays because we enjoyed a lot, right? We had a good time. We celebrated. And I want to encourage you guys to still celebrate. I just launched and formed a new website, Dr.Karin.com. It's DOCTORKARIN. Please look at it. I'm so excited about it. I've worked really hard with my new branding person, Nita Bloom, and it's such a piece of my heart. I've developed 2 courses that are out now. One of them is called Root Down, Fire Up. It's a masterclass. It will blow your mind. It will totally reform you. I walk you through the steps of how I found an awakening, how I found this new freedom and liberation that I found. I'm sorry, my dog is casing me out. They love when I do these videos. They can sense the energy up here is really fun, and they just want to be a part of it. But I've also released a new, so I've got the mastermind that's new. It is so amazing. Most of it is just coming through spirit. I really plug into a higher frequency when I do it. I do a lot of prayer meditation around the courses, and they're up right now, and they will completely walk you through and liberate you on a road to just finding more freedom and finding a way to connect to something that's deeper and more meaningful than all the stress that we experience. And right now I can see there's some moms on here, especially moms, and especially I'm a single mom, or those of you that feel like a single mom, or just are tired, or just facing this demand by society to be perfect, and the holidays really heighten that. So anything that is a small stressor in your life, the holidays are going to exponentially make them feel like they're bigger, like the stress of parenthood. So I was thinking last night we had a party here. We had, 40 people here to watch the Bulldogs win the Rose Bowl, and it was so exciting. And I've really have a commitment in my life over the past few years since I've had this awakening to celebrate more. And the intuitive coach that I work with, every time we get on the phone, the first thing she says to me is, what are we celebrating today? So first of all, I want to talk to you about just celebrating and living in the now. And I know you hear it, and I know it sounds like rhetoric, but my kids teach me that constantly. Just now, I was downstairs. I know I have writing to do tonight. I've got to go make dinner. I know it's dinner time for you guys, so thanks for joining me over your dinner. I was going to pour a glass of wine, but I'm too tired. I'm having coffee. But I will be on here for Wine Down Wednesday soon. I'm excited about doing that with you guys because I'm letting go of the old rules. And so the other thing that I have on my website is this new, exciting Break the Rules challenge, and it's just for women. And it is a year-long, monthly challenge for you. It's going to break into your inbox, and I've already lined up these amazing ways that you can break out of the old paradigm. So what I feel like I'm really here led to do, that my calling is, which has emerged mostly the past 4 years, is to help you guys and myself break out of the old paradigm of guilt, shame, pain, and suffering that we feel like we've needed to live in, and that we need to lean into this life of joy, and that we're entitled to happiness, especially you women. We feel like we can't be happy unless we earn it through going through really tough stuff. And I know, especially because I know a lot of you that are on right now, I know you've gone through tough stuff. Believe me, I have too. I know you're each facing your battles. I know that people can only see the tip of the iceberg on the surface, and you've got a huge iceberg underneath. I know, but I want to help liberate all of us to just, whenever there is something to celebrate, these small victories, every little ounce of goodness that comes our way, especially as mothers, we need to stop and celebrate it and enjoy it. I know, look at my fingernails. I've been working my fingers to the bone this week. I just had this big party, and I'm tired. And but you know what? My daughter Elise just asked me, Mom, can we have family game night tonight? And I was like, It's going to take some effort on my part, and I really should be writing and working, but I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. Let's have family game night. This is one of the few nights we're going to be here without having sports, which are going to be kicking in soon. So I'm going to stop and be really present for them, because kids, what do they tell you? Stop looking at your phone. Stop looking at your phone. Mom, look at me, look at me, look at me. They teach you to be present, right? And we're all distracted. Believe me, I'm the worst at looking at my phone and being distracted and going on social media. It's part of what I do. It's part of my job. It's part of what's necessary to spread the light I'm trying to spread. But when I'm with them, I will put it down, and I really try to focus eye to eye with them. So I want to talk about this need. Last night I was sitting here with another mom, and she was saying to me that she loses her shit all the time around her kids. All right, so let's just face it. We lose our shit with our siblings, with our family members, with our spouse, our partner, and with our kids. Like, we're our worst selves with those people. All right, just yesterday, my kids were, like, I was trying to plan for the party, and they were all fighting. They're 9, 9, and 7, and they bicker a lot. And so they were fighting so much, and I got so angry. Like, I started, like, yelling at them, and I'm like, oh, my God. And so I said to them, oh, my God, you guys are like, it's like volcanoes in my house. And I can't remember which one, but one of them turned to me and was like, Mom, you're like a volcano, too, you know? And I was like, and I just stopped, and I'm like, you're right. I'm actually being a volcano right now. And you know what? We all have volcanic moments, and things get to be too much, and we lose our shit on people, right? Like, I know you do. I do. Okay, so you look at me. I don't know. I do all this teaching, and I try really hard to live what I teach, and it's really my goal, but I lose my shit all the time. And last night this mom said to me, oh my God, that makes me feel so good to hear it. And I'm gonna tell all of you, I lose my shit all the time. I'm a Leo. I'm super passionate. I'm super fiery, and I tend to get really angry really easily when things are like too crazy. We all do, right? Like, you hit a breaking point. And you know, here's what I want to let you guys know. Like, you're not put here to be perfect, all right? You're not put here. I'm trying to be gentle all the time. I'm much gentler than I used to be. I'm much calmer than I used to be. I feel like I'm a much better soul than I used to be, because I'm connected to this light source. The God that I know now loves me no matter what, celebrates my goodness and my good qualities and those things that are imperfect and perfect about me, because he only sees me as lovable. And I want you to know, like, you're only seen as lovable no matter what you do during the day, no matter how much you lose your shit or feel like things get chaotic, because they do, right? Life keeps happening, and we have moments where we become volcanic and we lose it. And what I want you guys to know is it's okay. It's so okay. It's actually necessary, right? It's how we grow. So what I think is we're called to do in those moments is not to be perfect. It is how we recover from those moments, okay? So we're teaching ourselves, and especially those of you that are moms, we're teaching our kids. We're not here to teach them or to teach ourselves that life is perfect or that we're supposed to be perfect. It's like, how do you recover from that, right? So I think that the impetus on you as a spiritual being who's trying to grow, and if you're here, you're trying to grow, and I know all of you, actually every one of you that's here, I know personally, and later I'll have a couple thousand people watch this, and you're always called to be here. But I know you, and I know that you have family stuff, and I know that you have histories. I know you've tried to live your best life, and if you're connecting with me here, you're here to live your best life. Your best life is not one that is perfect. It is one that knows how to recover from the imperfections, okay? So here's what I think. When we have kids or our spouse, like, when we're trying to recover from our imperfect moments, that is the place where we grow, and that's the place where we can teach our kids, like, how do you recover from imperfect people? Because we all are, and that's who they're going to face. And what do they do after they lose their shit and they realize that they've done something wrong? First of all, you go back and you apologize. Like, I'll stop when my kids called me volcanic. I was like, you're right. And so what I do then is not like proving to them that I'm right, and I probably always am. Just kidding. But we think we are, right? But when people call us on it, you stop. Oh, we're back on. My connection failed for a second there. What I do is I try to pause and return to something greater and better, okay? So in that moment, it may mean taking a minute by yourself. It may mean, actually, the most important thing is just to hear what the other person's experience is. So this is a huge thing, what I've learned in my relationships the past few years, and what I'm like not settling for less. So Brene Brown talks about the gifts of imperfection, and she talks about how boundaries are so important and how we teach other people how to love us through boundaries. And our kids are teaching us that too. They're like, we don't like when you're like this, Mom, or our spouse or our partner or our siblings or whoever we're close to. will tell us. And so what we can set up are boundaries. Like, well, here's what I will stand for. So what I know personally I will not stand for is someone that won't listen to my story. Okay? Hi, Samuel. Someone that won't sit and just hear, all right, here's your experience. So in each experience, we're all bringing into it our history, okay? Every relationship we had before that, any trauma history that we have, any loss, any grief, and any feelings of being unlovable, unworthy, of being in a place of fear that we're not going to feel stable again, okay? So when you're triggered by a bad experience or bad news or strife and stress, conflict with somebody, you're being triggered because of past relationships, okay, and past experience. And the reason that we act crazy is because we're acting out of fear. We're acting out of a fear that, gosh, we're going to be somehow overtaken, that things are not going to return to stability. And when we react out of that, we're reacting out of a very low vibration. And so it's a spiritual place of being lowered in that you're reacting in a way that is not of your higher self, which is a more rational place where you can see the big picture. So my goal for you, and the goal that I'm trying to always land on, and I'm so imperfect, and I hardly ever do it until I sit back, and then I feel really proud that I can find this place where I'll say, okay, and that means pulling up and saying, all right, here's my experience, and I need you to hear what my experience is, and this is what it makes me feel like. Now I need to hear your experience. And then you sit and you listen to what the other person is experiencing, because it's likely something very different than what you're experiencing, because they're bringing into it all of their shit, right? And you're bringing into it all of your shit, and all that shit gets intermingled, and it's hard to know like what the other person is experiencing until you sit down and listen. And, you know, I was taught this as a doctoral student in a counseling program, so I know how to do it pretty well, to sit and hear people's stories. Sociopaths can't do this, so just FYI, and I have known some of them very well. A person that is unable to sit and listen to your side of the story, we talk about sociopaths. Those are outliers. Those are people that you do not need in your life. If someone is not able to sit and just hear your experience. But for you, the need is not to be perfect. The need is not to be in perfect relationship. It is to sit and hear what the other person's experiencing. What is your spouse, your partner, what are your children experiencing? Take into account their position, their emotional experience of it. Because here's what's happening. When you end up in conflict or a chaotic experience, there's a lack of alignment, okay? So your soul is telling you there's not alignment with the situation for who I truly am. I like to be aligned with peace, and so do you, with the reciprocal relationships, with respect, receiving and giving respect, right? So when you're having conflict in a relationship or with your children, something has gone awry. There's not a feeling of harmony, which is what we all want, right? So you, especially you moms, I really want you just to take a deep breath, and your mission is not to be perfect in the moment, not to be, like, the seas are going to get rattled. But know that what you're teaching yourself and what you're teaching your kids when you're recovering from those crazy, stormy, volcanic seas is how to recover, like how to step back, pull out of your own like emotion of the experience and just say, okay, what are you feeling? Here's what I'm feeling. Let's like hear each other. Hey guys, and recover in a way that's from a higher vibration than the one that's bringing the chaos in, all right? And in doing that, you moms, you're teaching your kids how to also recover from that you don't have to be right all the time, that you don't have to win, because the other thing I want to remind you is they're here as your teacher. They're actually not even here as maybe your teacher. Every one of your children chose you as a parent because they are also your teacher, all right? And I know that through spiritual teaching. I know it because my kids are teaching me all the time. You definitely are here to provide them with their needs to be, you got to help them meet their needs. You need to provide them with security and life lessons and help guide them. But they're also here to help guide you. They didn't come in as beings that don't know much. They came in so purely connected to Source, and they know that their lives, like their emotions matter. And so I would just plead with you not to shut down. I do all the time. Like we have that thing in us that's like, stop crying or stop talking back or whatever. But what they're saying is, I matter and I want to tell you, like I want to emote. So the only thing that we, I think, are put here to do is to stop and not to put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, but to pull back, see when we're imperfect, see when we're having a moment that is adding more chaos to the experience, and just try to pull back, see yourself come up and over the event. Take a deep breath, ask if both parties can hear the other one's opinion, sit down and listen to your kids and just say, all right, here's what we're going to do better. you know what, I stunk just now. That, you're right. You know what, that was not like my best self. Let's try to make this better. And then of course, not repeating the same patterns and all that. But for you guys over the holidays, take a deep breath. If you got super stressed and went off on people, or, you know, family dynamics exploded or whatever, look, it's a new year. We're January 2nd already. We just had a beautiful full moon. This is a new beginning. And all you have to do is take a deep breath. And just when those things happen, step away and picture yourself pulling back and looking in at the situation and seeing it from a bigger vantage point. And knowing that you, when you do that, you're going to pull yourself out of that low vibration, which is fear, guilt, shame, and anger, and you can pull yourself up to one that's more harmonious and more peaceful. Listen to the other person's point of view, and of course apologize when you're wrong, and then just say, here's what I say to my kids, because I want to teach them to say this back to me and to say it to their partner. What do you need from me right now? Like, that is so simple. Yolanda, yeah, I need to get some rest too. If you can't tell, because I've washed out my bags with this light, but I am super tired. This past week has been insane. But this is the final thing I'm just going to say. Just ask people, you know, what do you, if you don't have to give everything to people, but just like emotionally, what do you need from me right now? Like, what do you need from me? And in doing that, you're teaching them to also do that to you. So you're teaching your children to step back and just say, what do you need from me? And then you can also say to them, you know what, here's what I need from you. And I really need, can we make like a win-win thing happen here? And you know, I really just want to give everybody like, and it's okay to have been like, have stuff go wrong over the past few weeks. I think this is such a great new beginning. Thank you for all the love, you guys. And just, oh my gosh, we're imperfect beings, but you know what? Just keep striving for those upper emotions, and those are, they're more harmonious. They're more in a place of neutrality, where we're not super triggered to be angry, super triggered to be like super happy. We're actually, oh, thanks, Melissa. We're in a place of neutrality. That's actually like the Om state, where we say Om or Amen, like that place where you're just like, okay, because we all mess up. I just can't even tell you guys. I started this video, and I'm just going to say, for those of you that just jumped on, I've had so many moms the past few weeks say to me, like when I've told them, oh my God, I just like went crazy on my kids, and I feel bad, and they're like, oh my God, I just did it too, and that makes me so good, feel so good to know I'm not alone. You guys, you moms, you're not alone. Like, we all lose our shit because we all show our lowest vibrational worst selves to the people that we love, because we hope they're not going anywhere. But the problem is then we end up hurting each other. But the only thing you're responsible for is not to be perfect. It's just to recover in a way that sees the bigger picture, that takes deep breaths, that says nobody in here is perfect, that tries to find that place of neutrality, and that just says, okay, here's what I need from you, and what do you need from me right now? And that keeps people in our lives that want to also respond with the same what do you need from me dynamic, all right? So if you have someone in your life that's not about to give you anything that you need, if you have a spouse or a partner, a boyfriend or girlfriend or a friend that never comes back and says, what do you need from me? What can I do? How can I make this better? They don't belong in your life, because you know what? It makes you feel bad. It makes you feel unworthy. And I've had people in my life, I've had to let go of a lot of people this past year. And so the way that you know that they're not in alignment with you is you feel bad. You feel contracted and you feel smaller around them. People that you feel contracted and smaller around, that you're always trying to chase, that you're always trying to maybe manipulate or trick into like loving you more, or you're showing up a lot more than they are, like you're being shown by your soul that they're not meant to be that close in your life. And I know we can't let go of everybody, because a lot of them are related to us, but you can set new boundaries and just say, you know what, my expectations are going to be different. And when I let go of expectations last year, I will say it changed everything, because expectations will set you up for being pissed off, like the whole family dinner or the whole whatever. Just like, you know what, you're responsible for your happiness and I'm responsible for mine. And if somebody's not coming back and reciprocating in a relationship, you can just say, you know, I'm going to pull back a little bit now. I realize that this may be not as much of a give and take, and you know, I want you to work on your stuff. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but you're responsible for yours. And so what you're responsible for is keeping people in your life, in your vibration, that are there to boost you and keep you up at the highest vibration you can be. And you know what? It's okay if you trip into the lower ones. Every moment is a time to stop and start again. Esther Hicks talks about, just take a deep breath. It'll be over soon. This too shall pass. Let it ride out. And then just recover in a way that's beautiful. And each time you recover in that way that is asking for a loving situation to happen, and there's, you know, apology and an attempt to create more harmony, you're raising the vibration of the relationship and of the room and of your own soul. So I am taking away the pressure on you guys to be perfect. I'm telling you, please take care of yourself. Spend time with those that you love, face to face. Like I'm about to go have family game night with my kids. I just felt really led to pop on and let you guys know I'm so not perfect. I am so not perfect. And I lose my composure all the time with my kids. I sit here and I teach on here the things that I want to learn. But I will say, since I learned to connect to something higher than myself, and since I learned that I'm responsible for myself, I have chosen people in my life that are good for me, and I am so much happier. I'm so much freer. And I bounce back with my kids as a mom so much quicker than I used to, because I don't sit in resentment, because I don't let people stay in my life that I feel resentment with. I surround myself with love, and I teach them as well, you know, and what a better way to teach kids to be their best selves in a society that sometimes is not its best self, by just teaching them how to like pull back and stop being embedded with unhealthy situations and learn how to, in a healthy way, recover themselves and to give themselves grace. That is actually the word I'm going to leave you with right now. Just give yourself grace. Every moment is a moment to start again. You can always take a deep breath and walk back in the room or go take a bath and just say, how can I do this better? Let me take a deep breath and get myself back to neutral. And give myself a break for not being perfect, all right? I'm giving you a break for not being perfect. Let me remind you, I've got 2 new courses up on my website. I cannot be happier. Please look at my website, Dr.Karin.com, and I've worked really hard on it. I've got a mastermind which will completely change your life. I walk you through the course that I created based on my spiritual awakening and my up-leveling, and it's a 6-part course, and then I also have a 12-part Break the Rules challenge for women, which will challenge you to be a badass rule breaker like I've claimed to be this past year, just to liberate you from the old rules and the old paradigms that I don't follow anymore. And you know what? Life is meant to be fun. So I'm going to go have fun and celebrate with my kids. Thank you for being here and chatting with me. And I know those of you that are meant to hear it, heard it. And I just so appreciate all of you. I cannot wait to see what's happening in 2018. 2 of my live episodes are up on the lightersidenetwork.com for the Dr. Karin Show. And I'm about to do appearances in DC and Houston and maybe Birmingham and a few here in Atlanta. And just keep in touch with me, because I will show you where I'm going to be, and I'm going to be offering like discounts and great promos for my courses. And I just can't wait to see more of you guys. Happy 2018. Happy New Year.